All right, so I'm in Wednesday's qualifying round in the rookie division. I qualified my practice account, so I just sat down and was watching TV with my wife and just playing in the living room, not talking while I was doing a thing. And so this is how my process goes. I posted a video the other day on my note progression, so like where my notes start off, and my notes, because I'm posting content and stuff. I have to figure out what freaking holes they're at and what hole they are in that course so that I can go find um, videos from other playlists from previous tournaments so that I can find examples of the deal. And so my note progression as the week goes on. And I'm always encouraging all of you to record your own video. So I shot every hole. I went out and I broke them apart. And the reason I break them apart instead of like in the weekend round, sometimes I'll shoot like a 1 hour video just because I want to really kind of focus and I don't want to stop the stuff. Is that that way, if you're looking for a specific hole, you can just go to that hole, or like on another future tournament, I can go and I can find that. It actually kind of screws me up because in the weekend rounds, when I do those hour videos, it kind of screws me up because then if I need one, I gotta hack it out of the middle of it. So I record all my stuff so that I can go back and look. And so I can look at my shots and see good things, bad things, like if I made good adjustments, and go look at all the holes. So on hole number one, and then what I'll do is let's turn my volume down here. Maybe get my volume to go down. So we'll go out here and watch the shot. Is this my shot? This is my shot. So I'll be really critical of the deal. So I'll pause it here. So I'm a couple rings off. I've put on max right hand side spin and about a quarter top spin. I got a 3-9 wind. So just I can sit here now and I have an hour in a day. I can pull out my trusty dusty calculator and see if my math that I do out there on the course is worth a crap. And so it's 3.9 times 1.3 equals 5.07. So I should have done a 5.07 wind adjustment. And there's 5.07, just a 5 and a sliver. I'm close. And then I hit the red line. So that's an issue. So if we have big winds like that, I don't have any low wind 2-power balls. And there's no 1-power ball. I don't have any 1-power balls doing the thing. And I'm that close. So I made an adjustment. I hit that red line. So hopefully in the weekend round, the wind's not as high as it was right there. And what's funny is yesterday in my 77 account, I was closer than that. So I had some stuff. So I'll go. So I can't really criticize myself too much on that because I hit the red line, and I did a slight little short shooting of it and just kind of went with it. But I've got a check mark next to hole number one because that setup right there, 1 per ring, 30% wind adjustment, max right hand side spin, quarter top spin, that is tight. So I feel real good on hole number one. So hole number one is good. So hole number two, let's go see. And hole number two is, let me see if I get my shot. So I'm on my notes, I'm trying to, so I was on my orange ring and see the +2 right here. That +2 is, I'm right there I'm right at the transition between +1 and +2. I mean, like as soon as it hits +2, I'm in +2. And I'm 3 rings off. I got a 2.5 wind. I got a 100% accurate club. And I think I added on, I haven't been taking off more wind, but I think I added on some wind on this. Let's see what I did for my adjustment. I'm 3 rings off. I'm right at the +2. I'm pretty good as far as like direction on my arrow going due north. I've got it in between my two little ticks right there. So, and I've got it set up on 3. So I did a 20% pull because I've been getting really close to this transition between the rough and the fairway. And so I moved out a whole ring and I'm still getting a little close down in there. So I decided that I would not only move out 3 rings, but I would add on 20% for the wind to try and get a little bit closer to the cup. So I do a 3-ring pull. max backspin, and however much side spin I can get on. No overpower, max curl. Perfect shot. Right there. So I'm still, I moved out that one ring, and that's that one ring. That's how close I was getting to that rough before. So moving out that one ring has given me some room down in there where now I have at least a little bit of breathing room. So you can bet your bottom dollar that I'm absolutely going to be my blue ring off and not any closer than the blue ring if you're using a rock. But here's the question. Where's this next bounce go? Because I'm actually ending up a little long of the cup, and I don't like taking this 7-yard, 8-yard putt because of these moguls. So this next bounce is key here. Like, how much room did I have? Look how much room I had down there off of this transitional surface here to where I got my first bounce down at the bottom. So I'm actually going to change off of the blue ring, and I'm going to change my notes, and I'm going to still stay at the +2. I think the +2 seems like it's working, and I'm going to go clear ring off. And that's going to put me, instead of bouncing right here, that's going to bring this back a little bit up here. It'll give me more breathing room on the top. So if something happened and I hit a grate to the inside, a grate to the left, it'll give me a little bit more room at the top, but I have plenty of room down here. And here's why I want to try and shorten this shot up a little bit. Because when it bounces and it comes through, when it gets up here in these moguls, it's sticking. It's not rolling back down the hill. And I don't want to have to take this putt. I want this putt to be half the distance that it is there, or even less. There's a spot there, if you hit, it'll actually roll back towards the cup. And let me show you why I don't want to take this putt. I mean, if you watch my stuff on a regular basis, you know I don't like taking long putts, and I do not like taking S-curve putts, because if you get your trajectory off just a little bit, if you hit that grate, you could be in big trouble. So I want to at least try and cut that distance in half. So I'm going to change my setup up at the top, and I'm going to go clear ring off at the +2 mark, maximum backspin, maximum left-hand side spin, maximum curl, and try and hit it perfect. Because I mean, there is room out there. You can hit that grate to the left or the right, like a one ring grate to the left or the right, but perfect is going to put you can see where my line's coming in. I'm coming in real pretty nice to the cup. Where the first bounce was like right out in here. My first bounce is out here, but the first bounce on the green was like right out in here and then rolling up. And I'd like my first bounce on the green to be on this side of the cup. And I have plenty of room down here to be able to work that out. So in the opening round, I'm going to play my auto account first because it's my practice account. And I'm going to go back and watch that video, and I may end up moving it out to the white ring to get out if I have more room down there, because I'm trying to shorten it up to the cup so that I have a super small putt. All right, hole number 3. So I made a note change there. I'm going to change off to my clear ring to try and get me closer to the cup. So hole number 3, this is a big par 5, and what do we do here? Okay, I think I tanked I got the drive here all right. Let's see what I did on my drive. In my main account, I'm using a bigger ball here so I don't have to do any overpower. And I need to go back and watch the video that I did in the in 77's qualifying round to see what I used for ball. But I think I might have used a Kingmaker, but I'm going to switch on this hole and look through my inventory and see if I have 4 Powerball. And I think I used the Kingmaker with my 77 account, and I didn't, because I got that extra mile 9. I didn't put on any overpower at all. I just used the topspin to see where I'd end up out there. But this hole right here, I don't have any 4 Powerballs here, so if I want to get that distance, I've got to use a Kingmaker. But the next shot is the shot I'm still trying to find out how to get that freaking tail to work itself all the way to the cup. So I tried a couple, seeing if I could like get that tail to engage all the way back down to the cup. Like if there's a spot out there, I used a little bit more. I used max, trying to see if I could get that to do. And then here's one of the things about having this grid is that in the past, using the take shot, I always pulled to the center. And one of the benefits of having this grid, because I'm doing a 10% wind adjustment here, so I should be doing a 3-3 pull, is that instead of having to go all the way to the grid, I could go out on one of my lines. Like I could go out to the edge of the white ring, and then I could pull 3.3 up so that you're a little more consistent than trying to get into the center. Hold on one second.
Here's the top search result.
Hey. And I've done that so few times that I actually tanked the shot. I think I pulled it. Instead of 3-3, I pulled it 2-3 because I couldn't remember where I was at. So there's 1, 2, 3. No, I pulled it 3-3. I did pull it 3-3. I did get that right. 1, 2, 3, 3. I did pull it 3-3, and I hit it perfect. And then I ended up on the inside. So, you know, I'm sure that somebody out there is getting. And my teammate Kyle tells me that he's been able to get that tail to walk all the way back down there. But I'm just going to shoot that ball right towards the cup, where I can get right to the cup and not dick around with it. In which case, in my odd account, I may bring out a bigger ball so that I can see where if I can get into my Hornet range way up there in the front. But if I'm using a long iron, I probably will bring a long iron that's got a little bit more backspin so that I can stay within, keep out of the sand, and come at it. So I'll probably use either a Saturn or a Grim Reaper. If you got a Grim Reaper level 6, it's got more backspin than a Saturn, and it's more accurate, and it's got about the same ball guide. All right, so that was hole number 3. So still working hole number 3. Hole number 3, I'm seeing a lot of people getting albies on it, but for whatever reason, hole number 3 and me just, it's always been a tough, and especially in tournaments because they always give us this damn side wind. And so the adjustments right there, and I've hit albies on this hole, but it's not like one of my, and you would think that it would be because I'm out there in the perfect spot like every time. And I'm really big on like getting yourself in the perfect spot and giving yourself that shot. And then I never seem to capitalize like I want. Hole number 4. Let's see what I did on hole number 4. So sniper katana, 1 per ring, max left-hand side spin. Now I shot this in my 77 account and I was way the hell off the hole. And I'm like, what the heck is the deal here? And one of my viewers posted on there that when I did the adjustment, I wasn't going true north. I was damn near going east. I did not have the arrow lined up. I was so focused on the wind adjustment down here, and I am thinking about making a change on this hole. And the change that I think I'm going to make is we need a 3 side spin ball, and I'm using a katana. And here's what I don't like. Look at the rings that are in the sand and how they're distorted. So like look at the blue ring. I mean, you can see on the orange ring there where it's tipped off, but look at the blue ring, how it's distorted. If you go out to the tip out here on this blue ring and it's full distortion, and then you look at it where it's over here on the fairway, you know, that's probably at least a third of a ring distortion, maybe even a little bit more. So when you start pulling over sand because it's dropping over that lip, we're right there at this line. I mean, I need to turn a little bit more so that I'm more like right in this area right here, but I'm having a hard time getting a super tight wind adjustment because that sand, and I'm still there, I straightened it up. So you're right along this line. And so I'm not looking at the blue ring that's in the sand. I'm watching my rings that are over here in the fairway where they're not distorted, and I'm trying to make my wind adjustment. So we're doing a 10% and we're doing a 20% wind adjustment. So that's 4.3. That's 43. That's 86. Plus 3 is 86, 96, 106, 116. So I should be doing like a 5.16. Is that what it is? 5.16. And so I'm right there at that spot, but I'm having to pull along that line. And if you get in the wrong, I don't like having to deal with the sand and that distortion of the rings. Up to this point, we haven't had winds this high. So it's been a little bit easier. It's been even worse, I think, because I'm dealing with more up here. I might bring a Kingmaker on this because it'll move my red line up into this area. And then I'll have plenty of room to maneuver my ball here so that I can actually set my ball up a little bit closer. It's going to change how much topspin I put on there. and I'll have to make a slight adjustment for that. But it should only take 1 or 2 shots before you can make that adjustment. But that means that when I do my wind adjustment, I'm in front of that sand, and my ring sets are more consistent, and I'm not having to deal with the distortion of the sand. That may just be for me personally a personal preference, because I do not like dealing with sand distortion. That's why I'm always talking about I don't like to have to pull over sand if I can help it, because it distorts the rings, and wind affects your ball different when you're over sand as well. So I may change my ball here from a katana. And I made a note and I circled the note to change to a kingmaker just to try it out in my practice round. And so I'm a little over 5. I pulled it a little over 5. I don't know if I hit this perfect. I think I hit it great. No, I hit it perfect. And I ended up, and I worked on the speed on this at the beginning of the week, and I'm ending up a little short. In the last couple times I've done it, I've ended up just a titch short, but I'm still continuing to be to the right. So like that 20% wind adjustment when we're in the rough, I'm not convinced that the 20% wind adjustment's right. So I'm going to play this with my odd account first, because I want to play this hole twice. I'm going to switch to a kingmaker. The first time I'm just going to do the 20% and see what happens. And if I'm off to the right, then I may change that to a 30 on the back, because I'm trying to prep it up for my 77 account. But I still have a little bit of work to do on this hole. I like where we're at. I mean, I think we definitely, with the rough bump, have increased our odds of getting a hole in one here. I think that's absolutely the way to go. But I still think I got some dialing in work to do on hole number 4. So hole number 4, I learned a little bit. Hole number 5. What the heck is hole number 5? I don't even remember these holes. The big hole. And this is just a matter of me hitting it wrong. So I'm down in the cup. Got a kingmaker. My opponent's got to see where my shot's at. So I'm down in the hole. I'm at 2.5 rings off of this transitional surface. I'm trying to be as close in the middle as I can, but I want to be out in the middle, close to the left-hand side, 2.5 rings off the left-hand side, to give me plenty of room. So if you hit greats to the left or the right, it is not going to matter. I can't put on much more topspin than what I did there. If you hit great to the left, because the fairway is a little shorter over here, but I do have a little bit of space in front of me. That spot right there puts me right at, and let's see what the distance was there. What's the distance? 423. At 420, right in that neighborhood right there, you're right at minimum club. So I'm trying to get the minimum short iron shot. And so I don't really want to hit it any farther forward. So like with my 77 account, I've got the extra mile 9. I have to watch how much topspin I put on, because here I've got 6, 7 topspin, and I have to make sure that I kind of matching up with that. Otherwise I end up farther forward, which isn't a problem because you end up in your wedge. But I really want to take this shot with my minimum short iron, because from that angle, you don't need a lot of backspin. This is just one of those holes. I mean, I've tried this in the past. I used to play this hole with nothing, and I encourage you to if you're coming at it this particular way, you can have a Hornet in your bag, but everything else in your bag, you really want to stick with some backspin stuff, because if you end up in your wood or you end up in something, you may need backspin, and you want to make sure that you have that option. And one of the things that I'm doing here is I'm not putting on quite enough backspin. I need to put on just a little bit more, because it's going down that hill and it's rolling out a little faster than the ball guide's showing. So wind adjustment. We're doing a 10% to the cup. So it's 3.8 plus 3.8. So it's 3.418. So it's about a 4.2 pull. And I count this at 2.4 or 2.2 per ring. So it's 4.2. And that would be 2.2 would be 4.4. So I'm a little teeny shy of 2 rings is what I'm shooting for here. And I'm a little too shy of 2, but that's still in the cup range. And then I hit a great, which means I'm going to be great right on the outside of the cup. So if you have perfect shot there, and the deal is that I think if I would have hit that perfect, it would have went in the hole. But I don't like how fast that went because there is an opportunity that it might bounce over the hole. So I need to put on just a little bit more backspin, maybe 2 or 3 backspin. And I'm going to make a note here. 2 to 3 backspin so that you can woe the ball up a little bit more and go in at it. So I feel really good on what I'm doing on hole number 5. It's just a matter of hitting a perfect going in there to get that to sink in the hole. Hole number 6. What the heck is hole number 6? Hole number 6 is this par 5. Now I'm working on this par 5 because I want to see angles. So in my main account, I'm using a 100% Accurate Club, but I wanted to see like what I could do to like get out there. So I bring my extra mile. I bring a Titan. I'm not using the wind. I've got max topspin on, max side spin, and I'm doing 4.2. So I'm doing a little over like maybe a 5% pull. Just a little teeny bit of curl because this freaking tree right here is right there in your way. I mean, you put a lot of curl on it and you're going to end up clipping that tree. And I'm trying to get to the left as far as I can to change my angle up to the green to see if the roll going up to the green is flatter than it is if you hit to this sand trap over here. Because normally, I will tell you right now, the reason I'm still practicing this hole is because my normal shot here is to come in here with a QB, 3 topspin. You got 2.5 of work, it doesn't matter. You don't have to put any overpair on it. Bring out a katana, pop your ball straight up out there with a 100% Accurate Club. You're in minimum sniper. You got plenty of red line room, and you can go right at the cup. So, I mean, that shot coming in, my normal way of going at this hole is not, it's risk-free. So while we're in the practice rounds here and I'm in my practice account, I'm going to continue to kind of like work this hole to see if there's a better angle. In my main account, I'm going to go at it my normal way until I get a feel for this, but this is the one. So let's see like my ball guide going up to the hole. You're still getting some drop here. See how the tail of the ball guide's dropping? And I was hoping that I could get out there far enough that when I go up the hill, my ball guide would go straight. Now, we should be taking off. Let me get my calculator out here. We should be taking, I've tried it with some different, I'm taking off 20% of the wind. I was taking off, I did a straight shot and then I took off 10 and then I took off 15 and then the 15 was like hard to do the math, but it seemed like it still wasn't enough. So I went to the minus. So we got 3.8 minus, we're actually, let's say times 0.8 is 3.4. And I've got a 100% Accurate Club, so I should be doing a 3.4 ring pull. And let's see if I got that right. .8. Did I get it right? Let's think here. 3.8, I'm in mid club. And so at mid club, I play at 1.5 per ring. So that would be either like 2.5 rings, or I should have pulled it, 3.4. So I did it a max club. It was 3.8 and you take off the 20%. So it was 3.04. So it's 3 rings. And I'm playing it as if it was a max at max distance, even though I'm not quite at max distance. So I did the ring pull that I wanted to do there of 3 per ring. And then of course I don't hit it perfect. So I'm not going to be able to get the read on whether or not, like the line there's coming in is any better. I hit it great to the right. As far as like looking at the distance, if it would have been on trajectory, that speed right there was right. And I was off to the right. That seemed like it was more than a ring off to the right. So I'm still not convinced that the 20% is the right number, but from that angle down there below, it may not be the right number. Like the 20% may be the right number if you're in my traditional spot on this hole, but not there. So in my odd account, I'm going to continue to work the lower spot. And it may not help me in this tournament. But what it may do is it may help me in the next tournament because I can go back and watch those videos and do the deal. So of all the holes, this hole right here, I'm still working on because I know I can do the traditional shot. And so I'm still working on this hole to see if I can get this, if I can, like I said, maybe not this tournament, but next tournament I can get this so that I'm more consistent. Knock Sniper, that was hole number 6. Hole number 7. And I'm going to change on this hole how I'm coming at it. And I did it, I caught this hole a couple times in shootouts. And I think I have one on here. And I'm going to change how I play this hole because this hole is starting to piss me off. The deal, okay, so I'm coming at it from the left-hand side so that I can engage this fairway here. See how this is a lot flatter, and you look over here and it's going downhill and it's all mogully. So if you're out here, especially if you're on the right-hand side, you're coming at it through all that stuff. Or if you're coming at it in a certain spot in front, you're right on that ridge. So if anything happens to the right, you're definitely going to drift off. So by being out here to the left, if I do catch a great to the left or the right, I'm still on the flat up here, and it's just going to roll up towards the cup and be off the cup. But what I don't like is how it's tailing off at the very end. So let's see if I got my adjustment right. So it's 2.6 wind. I'm 100% air club, and I'm doing a 30% wind adjustment. So 2.6. Let's see if I can get my trusty dusty calculator out here when I spin around and look at it. So I've got it lined up 2.6. Hey, calculator work times 1.3 is 3.38. So if I did it correctly, I should do a 3.38, a little over a third of a ring. I did 3 and a little over a third of a ring. So that wind adjustment was right there with that, because that's as close as we can get down there. So it's always hard when you're doing those. I think I hit it great. Now I hit this one perfect. And this is what right here, what I'm talking about is like it comes up and I'm ending up either I need to do a bigger wind adjustment, more than 30%, or I need to change my trajectory so that it's not dropping off at the end. So I'm either going to change the number 30% to 40% and make a change, because I keep ending up, I've hit a bunch of perfect shots on this and I keep ending up off of the cup right there. It seems like I'm regressing on this hole. Like I was actually had it, once I got the speed figured out, I was like right there at the beginning of the week. And now it seems like it's getting worse as the week goes on. So I may change that. I may change that up. And in one of these holes, I take that shootout. When I get to it, I think it was on hole number 9. But I'm still working on that hole too. So hole number 6 and 7, I'm still working on. Like I have no fear that I'm not going to get the eagle on hole number 6 and I'm going to get the birdie on hole number 7. But I'm still trying to tighten them up to see if I can increase my odds of getting that Albie and getting that hole in one. So those 2 holes are holes that I'm definitely working on. Hole number 8. And let's see what we did on hole number 8 here. What is hole number 8? Okay, hole number 8, I don't have any bigger balls here. So my opponent comes out with a 4 power ball. So you can see what my opponent does. They've got a 4 power ball. They've got a level 5 Apocalypse. Max topspin. They leave the wind in, 3.3 wind. And where it looks like it's rolling right there, I don't know that I would have put on any overpower at all. But they did put maybe a quarter overpower on. Not enough to make the needle go any faster, but it was definitely shaken. Hit it perfect. This is the problem with max topspin shots when you're doing them, is that you have no control over the tip, and it flattens out when it gets down there on the green and it wants to scoot. And it scooted them right into the bunker. So the biggest ball that I have in this account is a Titan. I have those present balls, but I only have 3 of them. So I'm saving those for the weekend round just because it'll really help out. So 3 mile an hour wind, I'm leaving the wind in, max topspin. So I'm looking like if I did max overpower and left the wind in, that's way too much. So I need what I'm thinking of about maybe 4 miles an hour of, so I'm doing about half overpower. And then we're just floating it up there. And then I start to get some of that little bit of run, but I luckily ended up sticking on the fringe. So like that shot right there, I probably would have only needed to use about 1/3 overpower. Not quite as much as what I did to get up there to get on the green. So I'm liking, in my upper developed count, I'm using a power 5 ball on this, and I'm being able to not use all the topspin, and I like my deal. So I'm okay on that. But that hole right there, if you don't have bigger balls, if you're using a Titan, you've got to get, like, because we're having to use a little bit of overpower. that overpower is going to be a tricky deal. Just making sure that you get the right amount of overpower on there. But that hole is definitely, you can definitely get the eagle on it. So hole number 9, taking the drive shot here. Once again, I'm taking the drive shot with a, am I using a Titan? I'm using a Titan because I'm trying to use the wind. And I'm looking at where I'm going to be out here. So the wind at 2-2 is pushing me in this direction. So it's going to push me out off the edge of my yellow ring. And I'm looking at my ball guide because I'm putting curl on it, and I haven't been able to get on the green. So I'm trying to, it's a tough shot from the right-hand side, and I know I can't get on the green here. So I'm trying to make sure that I get it a little bit closer to the left, but I still want to give myself room if I catch a 2-ring great to the left that I won't end up in the rough. And I will tell you that I'm trying to get this ball guide so that it's like right along that rough area here, so that, because I know I'm going to put curl on it. So I know the ball is going to go to the left, even if I hit it to the right. I think I catch a 2-ring great to the left, 1-ring great to the left. And so I'm going to make sure that I bring that ball just a little bit farther to the right where I normally set it up, because that was close. Very close. All right, so let's see what the pitch coming in was. So here's, okay, if I catch this, I'm looking at my distances. So when I look at, like, this freaking shot, so I'm right there at max wedge from that spot. And even though I'm pulling back and I'm putting some topspin on it, I'm still thinking of it as more of a max shot. And at max, it's 1.3 per ring. So that would be a 3-ring pull and a little, because I'm adding on some. I'm adding on 10%. So I did 3 rings, and that's 3-9 and a little for the 10%. And you can see where I ended up off the cup. So I'm using my rings there instead of trying to eyeball that out. And I hit it perfect. I did hit it perfect. And it went over the cup, and it went fast. I mean, the ball guide there was lying to me. So I haven't had that happen before on here, because I know if I left that short, I'd end up being short. So that may be one of those things where I need to do the max adjustment, and I need to, instead of running it out, I need to use the backspin and just use it as a traditional wedge. But I'm still working on hole number 9 to get that stuff right. So this is why I encourage you to record your own gameplay, so that you can go back at the end of your round and you can look at your notes, and you can go back and fast forward through and look at your shots that you took and see if you need to make any micro adjustments, or, hey, did that adjustment that I decided to take, did that work out the way that I expected? Or like on hole number 2, like trying to get it so that we're a little closer to the cup, and then looking at the bounces to see if I have enough room to try and work it to get it closer to the cup. It's really important to record your own gameplay so that you can go back and analyze it and be really critical of yourself. I mean, I make mistakes, and we all make mistakes when you're out there doing this stuff, and mine are sometimes more glaringly obvious because I'm recording video and posting it. But I do go back and watch my videos so that I can work on my notes. That's why if you watch my stuff at the beginning of the week and then you come and watch in the weekend round or in the opening round when I'm playing in my main account, things are different, because I'm trying to evolve my notes as the week goes on. And I don't want to go, hey, this is what we're supposed to do, and oh, it's not working, but it'll work next time. No, if you hit a couple shots perfect into a cup and it's not working, you either need to make a change or it's going to continue not to work. And that's kind of the progression. So that's where we're at right now. I did qualify that account in. And so now all my accounts are in for the opening round, and I will do videos tomorrow for the opening round. All right. Thanks for watching. Hey, and I think I am, let's see where I'm at. I think I'm like 12 viewers short of 600. I mean, I am like right there. So I am 12 viewers short of 600. So if you're watching this and you're not a subscriber, please hit subscribe down at the bottom. If you like the videos, please hit like, and I appreciate you guys watching, and have a great tournament. And hopefully we will kick some butt in the opening round. Thanks for watching.